Oh, I love this thing. Here, let's go into beginner mode and we'll do one more quick trick with the gear off. Hit the button. Ciao. Hit the button again. Ah! It's pretty cool. Hello pilots, I'm Wes from MotionRC.com, and today we are checking out the newest aircraft in our Skynetic line of model aircraft. This is the Micro F-35C from Motion RC. This was actually developed right here in-house, and we're very excited for you guys to start seeing it. This was one of Chris Wolf's little pet projects he's been working on lately, and I have to say this is probably one of the best flying micro aircraft I've ever flown, and definitely probably the best one in the EDF format. Now, this does fly on a 30mm EDF running on 4S power, so when you're picking this up, if you need batteries for it, they are available right here on MotionRC.com also, and they'll be linked in those spare parts sections. The aircraft does come out of the box with everything needed to fly it as far as the ready to fly package goes. You're gonna get the transmitter, the battery, the aircraft, and the charger. Now, outside of your ready to fly package, there's two other packages available, a Futaba transmitter ready and a Spectrum or DSM capable version of the aircraft. Now, the cool thing with all three options is they all come with a standard onboard package for RadioMaster. So, any four of those radio options are available in this aircraft. Now, depending on what version of the aircraft you buy, it is gonna come with a satellite receiver for the Futaba and the Spectrum one. Those things just plug into the top of the board, and I found that they tuck right in nicely underneath the top of the canopy for you to have great coverage and for it to be secured in there. When you're setting it up, just remember channel 5 is going to be your gyro mode select. You need that in 3 positions, 100, 0, and -100. And your other option is going to be your stunt mode switch. I like to put that on a momentary switch. So for like Spectrum, it'd be the I button. Futaba, it'd be SH. And on RadioMaster, it depends on what radio you have. They all are in different places on that one. But a momentary push button. Now, speaking of the one key aerobatics, the way it's gonna work is you depress your button and then you are gonna push the command input the way you want it. So if you want it to do a roll, you'll push it to the right or the left and the aircraft will make the right or left movement. Or if you depress the button and pull back on the stick, it will do a loop. Now, speaking of the gyro modes, let's actually go over some of those. So you have beginner. In this mode, the aircraft is bank limited to about 45 degrees left, right, up, and down, and it's gonna be self-leveling the entire time you're in that. The next position is intermediate. Intermediate is gonna offer you a little more bank angle limit. You can go up to 90 degrees. And you can go up, down, left, and right, all the way up to 90 degrees. And when you let go, it's gonna self-level again. This is gonna give you a lot more angle and a lot more speed in your maneuvering. The last position on your controller is gonna be expert. And in expert mode, it's a basic model aircraft. You can do rolls, you can do loops, there is no self-leveling, but the gyro is still active to keep the aircraft stable. It is a small aircraft and you definitely want a gyro on when you're flying these. Now, the next thing we want to go into is the battery bay for this aircraft. What you're going to notice is you have a really wide CG envelope on this aircraft. If you have the battery up to the front, it's going to be a little more nose heavy, but it's also going to penetrate the wind better, and it's going to land pretty darn easy in this, and it's going to stay pretty stable. You can also fly this with the battery all the way at the back section of the fuselage. If you do this, it's going to be very tail heavy. And the one thing I'll tell you is if you have it this way, if you go to 0 power and then bring the power back in, it's gonna wanna pitch down. So just be ready for that. If you'll leave about 10% throttle on the entire time you're flying with it super tail heavy, it doesn't pitch down like that. So that's just something you're gonna have to get used to if you wanna play with that. But with it at the very back of the battery bay, man, you can do some crazy high alpha flying. And the touch and goes you can do with this, it comes down and it just sets down on the main wheels and you can just bring it all the way down the runway in a big wheelie. It is hilarious, and I had so much fun playing with it like that. Now, since we're talking about the battery bay, let's talk about the power system of this aircraft. It is running on 4S and that 30mm fan, and I'll tell you what, this thing has gobs of horsepower. It's kind of fun to play 4S on something this small. I'll tell you, you can just hand launch this thing at about half throttle in beginner mode, and it just flies out of your hand effortlessly. So I personally like to fly it without the wheels. It does look a lot cooler, but it is fun to have that option. If you want to do a touch and go session, you can throw the wheels on. You have a steerable nose wheel on it. So it's a blast to play with this thing. I've just had such a fun time flying it. Now, once again, talking about the battery in this, it is going to come with the 2 to 4S battery charger included in the box. Super easy to use this. Plug into a wall and then just plug your balance lead into the charger. It takes about 45 minutes to charge up one of these batteries on the little charger, but super easy to use it. Comes with the aircraft if you need it. Now, for the sake of today's video, we're not going to do a full flight with the wheels on and the wheels off or anything like that. I want to take you and just show you some of my favorite moments from a day of flying with this. We went out and flew, all day long with it. And we're just going to cut a couple of our favorite moments out and show you some of those flights. So let's get out to the field and let's go do a little flying. All right, so for this first flight, I have my 3-position gyro switch in the beginner mode, and we're going to take off. Here we go. Very well behaved on the ground, to be honest. I still have this in beginner mode, which means that whenever I let go of the throttle, the aircraft is self-leveling. I need a little touch of trim. There we go. Power off to 0. When you bring the power back in, it will pitch the nose down just a little bit. It's better to just leave a tiny bit in. Hold it off. Get the little squeaky. Squeak. Literally the best handling microplane I've ever flown as far as landing it goes. Now I'm going to put it in advanced mode, and at this point it just becomes a regular old model airplane with stabilization. And it's actually excellent. If you like doing high alpha stuff, look at this thing. Ugh. You could just crawl it in the high alpha. Power! Absolutely fantastic. You know, of course, it always looks better with the wheels off, but there is something special about being able to actually land your little plane. This is in advanced mode. Oops, overflared. Squeak. All right, here we go. I've got it in beginner mode once again, which is full stabilized, full self-leveling. I like that for my hand launches. Point it right into the wind, half throttle, throw it, and hold a little bit of up elevator. Here we go. Flies right out of your hand. We'll leave it in beginner mode for a second, because in this mode, it's the easiest high alpha monster I have ever seen. Battery's pretty far back once again. The trick is never let the throttle go to 0 with this either. Look at that thing. Crawling along. Now we're going into my mode where I'm flying. Through a model aviator. I really cannot get past to you guys how good this little airplane's been. I've been having a ball with this thing. All right, now let's take it into intermediate mode. That's gonna give us a little more bank angle limit, but when I let go, the airplane goes back to neutral. But now we've unlocked more angle. So you can see I can bring her right around now. And anytime I let it off, I can still slow it down. All right, I'm gonna try and land it right here in front of me. Lori, just a heads up, I'm gonna come behind you for this landing. so I can hit the grass. Look at it come in so nice. Now you just fly it in with the throttle in a high alpha. Well guys, this is the all-new Skynetic F-35. Be looking right here at motionrc.com for more information on this aircraft as it goes along, and hopefully you guys enjoy this a whole bunch, because I'd love to see a whole line of these little fighters come out in these EDFs. I know a lot of guys have been looking for some small, easy to fly aircraft, and I think this is gonna fit the bill for a lot of dudes. So until next time, I'm Wes from motionrc.com. It's always my pleasure to show you these things, and I can't believe model aviation is my job every day. Until the next time, whether it's air, land, or sea, you can get it right here at Motion RC. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.